Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is your boy, Shaquille Cameron Stokes, aka Rabbi Cam. For some of you that know me on Instagram, you used to my proverbial, all that good stuff. But anyway, shalom, folks, and welcome. This is success for everybody today. I'm coming at you from the beautiful city of the brotherly love, Philadelphia, aka that city, right? One love. So we welcome you to the Thrive Network, where if you're striving but not thriving, you're going to focus on the rule of four, which we're going to talk about later, and get to arriving at your destination. This show seeks to bring equilibrium to your life and balance to your life through a holistic approach, which I simply call MAPS. And looking for here, here we go. Yep. So MAPS, MAPS, simple as that. We're going to go through that later and let you know exactly which each of those letters in the acronym means. But we're doing it because we believe in the rule of four. And the rule of four, if you do it very well every day, it's going to bring balance to your life. So if you are looking to bring a thriving balance to your life, then this is the place for you, right? Why? Because you really do matter. And I know oftentimes we hear that from different platforms. People say, you really matter, but you really do matter. And here you matter. Everybody matters here. I don't care what you come from. I don't care what your situation is. Everybody matters in this space. And that's exactly what we are going to do, is to really bring you into a place where you feel that you belong, right? That I belong here. In order to feel that way, we have to make sure that we are balanced and that we have an equilibrium. So the rule of four, we will address that later, is really going to deal with how to bring balance, right? So many shows out there that we listen to. Some shows is dealing with the physical diets, all these diets, right? Or all this spirituality, right? And they're separate. And they should not be separate. They should live in the same house, right? Because you're living in the same house. And we want to make sure that you are whole completely, not in just one area of your life. So I'm going to jump into today's topic in just a few minutes. But before I do, I would like to ask you to definitely smash that hashtag, y'all. Smash that hashtag and subscribe to this channel, Thrive Network. YouTubers, Thrive Network. All right. Also follow us on Instagram, Shaquille S, or Shaquille Cameron Stokes. Follow us on Facebook, Cameron Stokes, and share, like and share with your friends, family, and everyone. Right? We want everyone to be with us as we move forward. All right. Also, if you're sure to like the video, leave a comment. If you found that the content was helpful, please leave a comment. And that would help us out in a great way. All right, so let's dive in and jump right into today's topic, which is our introduction to what we do. This whole network, the Thrive Network, is dedicated to a principle. Yes, principle. There's four of them, and we call it the rule of four. I don't know if you're familiar with John Maxwell. Most of you are familiar with John Maxwell, right? John Maxwell is a business guru, businessman. He has multiple books out there, the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership and all of those things. I'm sure you have read it. If not, definitely go out there and buy that book. Definitely not advertising John Maxwell, but I am in the sense, right? Because the book is found to be very helpful. But there was a concept that he used, which was the rule of five. And it's simply a series of activities that if you do every day, you will fundamentally have success. If you do these 5 things every day that he calls the rule of five. So for John, his rule of five is as follows, right? So every day he reads, right? Every day he files his paperwork. Every day he thinks, okay? Every day he asks questions, and every day he writes. He does this consistently every day. He describes a tree, right? And how you take an axe and you're chopping this tree. But if you give up, then the tree still stands because it's thick. You got to go through layers. And he says that every day, if you're chopping the same spot, chopping, and you're consistent and you don't give up, eventually the tree will fall. In other words, you will eventually have success. But what happens? A lot of times we have barriers. Sometimes we have procrastination and other things that hinder us from moving forward in a positive way to bring wholeness and wellness to our lives. So, as a life coach, my job is not to just create goals for individuals, but really is or to diagnose them. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist, right? These are separate things, but certainly I do refer people to different areas. And you will have, or I'm sorry, you will see on this program, I will invite therapists and psychologists and those experts in certain areas that can bring us information and resources that can be very helpful and beneficial for our needs. So I'm not even trying to provide you a prescription or some sort of script. My assignment is to challenge you, to challenge the viewer, every individual like you, to find the God given solutions from within yourself. Did you know that everything that you need is inside of you? We just got to pull it on out. And that's what this network is designed to do. That's what this program that I'm putting together, the Rule of Four, is designed to do, is to give you a solution to help you self-discover so that you could come into balance in your life. So one of the biggest challenges for most Americans is the deficiency of actualization, right? That I can do it on my own, that I can become who I want to be. A lot of times we depend on help books, we depend on coaches, and we depend on other people to make us do certain things. And then even with that, we're not consistent. Why? It's because it's not coming from within ourselves. You have to have the drive and determination that you matter. You really matter. And that's what I'm going to do on this network, is really encourage you. And all of the presenters that I bring on this network, we're going to help you self-discover your own power within yourself, right? Self-actualization, to bring you to a place that you can do it on your own. All right. So we may do well in one area of our lives, but we suffer in other areas. And that therefore we're unbalanced, right? There's not an equilibrium. Okay. Now, have you ever asked yourself, after accomplishing I'm telling you, I can't talk tonight, I don't know why, but after you have accomplished something, have you ever found yourself, let's say you set a weight goal, right? And you still feel unfulfilled or off kiltered, or you feel a sense of an imbalance? Have you been there? I'm sure you have. And you're in good company. We've all felt that way. You're not by yourself. We have to remember that there's more to you than you think, right? You should say that to yourself. There's more to me than meets the eye. There's more to me that meets the eye. Okay. Always remember that. If one of the areas is fulfilled in our lives, but not in another, we often still feel there's something missing, right? You ever feel like that? Like I accomplished my weight goal, I got through this routine, but I'm still not happy. Why am I not happy? Why do I still feel unfulfilled? I thought if I stopped eating those yams and macaroni and cheese and all of that stuff, that I would feel better, right? And maybe I do feel a little bit better, but I'm still not shedding the proper pounds that I want, or I'm still not feeling a sense of success, right? That's because there's something else going on that you have left unattended to deal with something else. Sometimes we put a lot of thought into one area of our lives and we exert so much energy, right? That we can't really exude in other areas. We're not thriving in other areas, and therefore we're not feeling a sense of accomplishment. You cannot really enjoy the accomplishment that you so well deserve because there's other areas that have went unattended for some time. All right, so um, my rule of four, just like John Maxwell's rule of five, is something if done every day with precision and dedication will bring success and cause individuals to thrive, ultimately bringing you to a place of equilibrium. All right, so let's dive into these concepts and dive into these words, right? Dealing with, um, and let me say this too, by the way, I don't think I mentioned this. Every Wednesday, we will have a show, and the show will be dedicated to holistic approaches to wellness, right? We want to deal with the whole person. Oftentimes, we hear people talk about wholeness or even the concept, the word holiness, right? And we think of spiritual only. But holiness and being whole, it's more than just going to church. It's more than just, I don't do this, and I don't go there, and I don't, all the rules and regulations. It's actually principles that you apply to your life that causes you to thrive as a whole person the way in which God intended for you to thrive. And I'm reminded of the scripture that I will put up here, and I do use ESV. I'm sorry for some of you who are King James onlyists, but the English Standard Version, I really like the way that it's said here. But 3 John 2 says, "Beloved, I pray that all may go well with you, and that you may be in good health as it goes well with your soul." Wow. And King James says that you may prosper even as your soul prospers, it says, right? In other words, this verse is saying to us that God's desire is that human beings, we're all valuable. Every person on this earth, whether you are a Christian, whether you are an atheist, everyone has value because God created you. And everything that God created is good, even when you're having the worst day, even when you've done the worst thing. God still sees you as valuable. Isn't that something? You are valuable, and God wants your complete person to be whole, not just your soul. The verse here is saying, yeah, the ultimate goal is that your soul would be in alignment with God, right? But God's desire is that you prosper in every part of your life, even as your spiritual man prospers. So he wants you to prosper in your mind. He wants you to prosper in your emotions. He wants you to prosper in the physical as well as the spiritual. So remember that God is looking for you to prosper and to be whole. This is what we call the holistic approach: body, mind, and soul. And on this channel, this network, that's what we're aimed to do, is to really focus on the whole individual. Because if we're only dealing with just part of you, then we have not done our job. You have not done your job. You have to definitely focus on those areas that are most weak without letting something else go. So while you're focusing on your mind, also focus on your emotions, also focus on your spiritual man. You can go to church and have a great spiritual time and feel like you're on cloud nine, spiritually speaking, but yet you're suffering in your health, or you're suffering in your emotions and in your mind. How can that be? Because you are a whole person that have a whole lot of problems. All right. So we're going to help you. We're going to help you to self-actualize and to deal with those things. So let's jump right into these different areas. So the first part of MAPS, again, is the MAPS, right? The first that we're dealing with in the MAP is the mind. The old saying, we used to watch the commercial with the drugs and the egg, and they say the mind is the terrible thing to waste and all of that, and the mind on drugs and all that stuff like that, right? Like the mind, everything lives there, right? The mind. As a man thinketh, as a woman thinks, in her mind, in your heart. Often in the Bible, when it says the heart, is talking about your mind. As you think in your mind, so is he, so is she. If you constantly are telling yourself you can't do it, you can't make it, I can't stay on this diet, I can't arrange my schedule in an appropriate way. If you're constantly telling yourself that, you're going to get the same results. So we want to deal with the mind, financial education, right? How do you think about your finances? Do you have a legacy? Are you setting up mutual funds and insurance for your family? Like those sort of things, right? Are you a good steward of your money that God has given you, right? Do you sow offerings? Do you give into charity? These kind of things that weigh on our mind every day, right? These struggles, that the battlefield is in your mind, right? The devil plays tricks on you. The song used to say, my mind is playing tricks on me, right? And sometimes it does. So we're going to deal with that. That's the first thing that we're going to deal with. And again, as I told you, we're going to have Wellness Wednesdays. And every Wellness Wednesdays, we're going to hit on one of these areas of the maps, either the mind or the other of those that we're going to discuss. We're going to deal with that every week in one of those areas. But you should be doing all four of these principles of the rule of four every day if you want to have a consistent balance in your life. If you're not doing that every day, then you're going to see your life like this every day. You're going to go to bed at night not feeling like you've totally fulfilled something inside of you each day. So we're going to try to help you get there through consistency. We're not there yet, and we don't expect you to be there. But through this network and the experts that we're going to bring on here, that is our goal, is to get you to a place where you feel self-actualized, that I have reached a place of success in my life in all of these domains, not just in one area. So the mind is dealing with the mental intelligence, okay? The mental intelligence, how we think about things, how we organize our thoughts. All right. The next one is affect. Affect, right? Affect. What are we talking about? We are talking about your emotional intelligence. So the emotional intelligence, you know how our emotions are all over the place, right? Sometimes we got to take anxiety medication, depression medication, and I'm not telling you not to do what the doctor has prescribed. I would never tell you that. But what I will tell you is that within you is the capacity to come to a place where your life begins to come to an equilibrium where you will not even need the medication anymore. We're going to help you discover that by bringing experts on and having conversations about our emotions, how real they are. Don't let anyone tell you that, you feel in one way one day, another day, and you're going through. Some people have trauma that we go through. The emotional state of a person is very serious. Now, I don't know if you're a Bible reader or not, like myself, but if you look at some of the Bible stories, Jesus never went to people and just started preaching to them and condemning them to hell and all those things. He dealt with their mind and he dealt with their needs. This is why often people would say, he looked beyond my faults and saw my needs, because before he could minister to them, before he could bring a spiritual transformation, he had to deal with them as people, right? I said earlier, everyone is valuable. Even the atheist is valuable to God. Every human being, whether you accept there's a God or not, he loves everyone and sees everyone as valuable because you are made in his likeness and in his image. That makes you valuable. And because you are valuable, the verse that we used earlier, he wishes above all else that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. Okay, so we're going to deal with that and talk about the emotional state of affect. The next of MAPS is physical. Physical. Now, some of you don't know that there is an intelligence there when you're dealing with your physical. Now, most of us Americans, we have so many trendy things that are on YouTube, that are on social media that deal with the physical body, right? How to eat, how to sleep, intermittent fasting, keto diet. That's my diet. I love keto. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff on here concerning that. Working out, build muscle, being in the gym, right? Pumping iron. All of these things, people are often, but for many are often using these different methods, but oftentimes it's short-lived. There's something else missing. People go hard, getting that beach body ready for the beach. Soon as that's over with, we go right back to the same stuff, that bad habits we used to have, eating the wrong foods, taking too much sugar in, don't want anyone to tell us what to do and what not to do. And then we find ourselves unhappy, unbalanced, and right back into the same places we were. So we're going to deal with the physical. We're going to bring. I have a life coach woman who she's amazing, Matisse Middleton. She's going to be on her next week. Make sure that you subscribe and that you're on here on next Wednesday, next week, and we'll be on having a discussion about the physical and how to keep your body healthy. Because if your body is not healthy, then there's not much you can do in other areas of your life, right? So we want healthy people. So stay tuned for that. And so the last but not least on the maps is spirit. Spiritual intelligence. Yes, that's a thing. Spiritual intelligence. What we're going to talk about is spiritual formation. How to transform. How to do a metamorphosis. Spiritual. There's things that you can do. Meditation. Yeah, scripture says I will meditate on him both day and night, right? Those kind of things. How to pray, fasting, like even intermittent fasting we talked about during for the physical. It's even a spiritual element to that. We're going to be dealing with that spiritual transformation and spiritual formation. So stay tuned for that. We're never going to let go of the spiritual part of things. That's always going to be a part of what we do. But that is, ladies and gentlemen, the rule of 4. I'm sorry, not physical anymore. We're past that. But that is the rule of 4. And if you do the rule of 4 and you're doing it consistently, it's going to bring balance, right? And that's what we want. We want balance in our life. Okay. All right. So now, if you fail to apply MAPS, also, again, I call it the rule of 4, and you fail to do this each day, you are off balance. You have an imbalance, and that is unhealthy. We want you to be whole. We want you to be complete. So in my closing, our show is dedicated to providing you awareness and the resources that support your goal-oriented individuals, or to help support goal-oriented individuals and bringing holistic equilibrium to your lives and other people that see you, right? This is not just something that we keep to ourselves, but this is something that it becomes a lifestyle, but we also want others to emulate. And that's what I'm bringing you every week here on YouTube. So, and what I do every day. So as a coach, I have to also model and apply these concepts and this rule to my life. So at Thrive Alliance, and I did want to mention Thrive Alliance as well. That is my business. The Thrive Alliance company is my business. Definitely, when you get a chance and you see the name there at the bottom, Thrive Alliance company, be sure to visit my page, and that's thrivealliancecompany.com. On that page, you will be able to see the different services that I offer, some of the coaching that I do, but also in education, in consulting. So please take a look at that and see if you like the services there. If you do, definitely hit the consult free consultation button. Log on to that and fill out the information, and I will be back with you. But I did want to throw that out there because this network is sponsored by my company, the Thrive Network. All right. And so I did want to bring this up so that you guys understand this, that for my company and also the network, I use a method methods of positive psychology. And many of you that work in the field, you understand what that is. All right. So positive psychology, such as the positive cognitive behavior approach, CBT, and the rational emotive um, behavioral therapy. So these approaches is approaches that I use in my conversation regarding MAP and thriving, right? That is the aim of my business, is to see people thrive in their life, both spiritually and naturally. And so this will show you and take you on a journey to wellness and self-discovery, as mentioned earlier. So for more information about what we do, again, you have my website. Please definitely log on, view my page, and then email me or fill out the information for a free consultation. All right. Now, hopefully something was said today that inspired you. And I hope to see you back again. Wellness Wednesdays, every Wednesday at 6 o'clock. I hope to see you on. And if you just want to dedicate, if you want to donate, we are building this business. We are building this platform. We're very brand new. So there's my Cash App. I'm not on here trying to rob anybody. I do have a job. I do have a full-time job. I get paid pretty okay. So definitely, if you want to be a blessing and you want to sow, or you want to support what we're doing in the effort, please definitely donate to that and send it through that Cash App. And again, for those that are just maybe have just logged on and you're just seeing this, definitely subscribe to the Thrive Network and hit that hashtag and share and like with your friends and with your family. All right. And so I am going to conclude our broadcast for today. And until next time, always remember this: if you're striving but not thriving, use my rule of 4 and get to arriving at your destination. Why? Because you certainly, and if you don't believe it, I'm going to believe it for you. You truly, truly matter. Until next time, keep thriving.